What's good, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Fans First Sports Network. I'm gonna get it one of these times. Fans First Sports Network.
I hope you get it right, bro.
I-80 football show. Welcome to Fans First Sports Network. I-80 football show. That is a mouthful. As always, I'm your host Jordan. I'm here with my co-host Dante.
What's up, man?
You know, another day.
Yep.
Another day, another dollar. Football is here. Football is officially here.
All the way here.
NFL started.
Yep.
I didn't get to watch any of the games for real because I work on Sundays now. Shout out to the economy. But to be completely honest with you, I really didn't miss much. And I was like, I thought I was going to miss it so much more. But I didn't. I caught up on the games. I watched so I got home late on Sunday.
Right.
And I turned on the Sunday night game and I saw the score. And as you know, we talk about, you need to value your relationship if you're in one. I turned on the score and I looked at my wife and I said, so what do you want to watch? And we ended up watching Sex and the City. So I saw like barely any football all of Sunday. I saw some of the Bears-Packers game. I worked 10 to 6. So by the time I got home and then we went to her parents' house for dinner, I saw some of the Bears-Packers game. And then we left. And by the time, because it was like 20-0 in the first quarter. By the time I got home and I settled down to watch a football game, it was like 20-0. So yeah, I watched Sex and the City last night. I saw like maybe 45 minutes of NFL football and like, it was just like whatever. I watched all the college football, so I was happy. Like
so it's funny. It's the switch for me. So I didn't get a chance, and I was supposed should probably watch college football, but I didn't get a chance to watch any college football because I was busy all Saturday. So I saw some scores. I saw some of the Ohio State game. I saw some of the Kent State game. That's hilarious. But I saw some of the Ohio State game. I saw some of the Nebraska-Colorado game. And that's about it on Saturday.
Yeah. So
Sunday, I watched all of the Steeler game.
Oof.
I watched half of the Browns game.
Also, oof.
Yeah. Who played at the 4:30 slot that I didn't care about? So I stopped watching. Oh, it was Green Bay.
Yeah, the Bears-Packers, yeah.
Yeah, it was Bears-Packers. That was the only game on at that time in Columbus, I think. Or at least I couldn't get the Philly game.
No, I think it was the only game on.
Yeah, so I watched some of that and didn't watch it. And I was streaming during that and then streamed during that Cowboys game because I don't care about the Cowboys. And then I went to the score and I think it was 28-0. And I was like, okay. And went right back to what I was doing. Like I was like, I'm gonna just finish this stream out. I was like, I thought this was gonna be interesting. Not even a little bit.
I think the funniest thing about it is like I think Dak had like 140 yards and a touchdown or something. It was mainly the defense just going stupid.
I literally every time I had it on my phone, I look over and I was like, is that a pick six? I was like another turnover. It was like a pick six. I saw a fumble six. Something else. I was like, good Lord, this game is done.
Cooked. I'm gonna pull. This is not an NFL show, but I really just want to look at the stats because I know I saw them and it was so hilarious.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So again, 40-0. 40-0. These were the stats. Dak Prescott, 13 of 24 for 143 yards. That's going to sound familiar. That's going to sound pretty close to what Iowa's quarterback did. By the way, this is an NFL quarterback. This is not an anti-Dak thing. This is just how much he wasn't needed. 0 touchdowns. That's it.
I'm sorry.
13 of 24, 0 touchdowns. 143 yards.
So like running, so it was the running game because I know Tony Pollard had a touchdown.
Sure, it was the running game. This is a team. As a team, they ran the ball 30 times, 122 yards, for 3 touchdowns. In the NFL, that's solid 4.1 yards per carry, but that's not special. Tony Pollard, 14 for 70, 5 yards per carry. That's actually pretty solid, 2 touchdowns. So Tony Pollard played well.
I was about to say, I saw Tony Pollard score.
But still, that's 21 points out of 40 of the running game.
That defense really just did all that? Wow.
Where did the rest of the points come from? Let's find out. They had 2 defensive touchdowns. What is it? They had, I'm guessing one was the interception and one was a fumble.
Yep, that's what I thought I saw.
Return for a touchdown.
Pick 6 and a fumble 6. That's what I thought I saw.
So that's 35 points. That means someone kicked a field goal.
That sounds about right if Dak didn't throw a touchdown.
Yeah, so they're 2 for 2 on field goals. So that's how they get to 40. 2 field goals, 2 defensive touchdowns, 3 offensive touchdowns. And they must have they missed an extra point. They missed an extra point. So it should have been 41-0.
That's nuts. So it was just a run game and defense. Yeah, that's how they should be playing. That's how Dallas will win a Super Bowl playing like that.
Dog, they had 7 sacks, and
who are the Giants? Right? Yeah,
bro.
That's right.
Bro, hold on.
Did you see this tweet? Hold on, let me.
Dante, I have to finish this. This is disgusting. They had 7 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 8 passes defended, or deflected. I never remember which one. It's the same thing. Defended,
same thing.
I don't remember which one, like what the official stats call it. So that means when they did throw the ball, they were getting hands on everything. 8 passes defended and 12 quarterback hits. And 2 defensive touchdowns. The Giants were in hell.
Yeah, straight jacket. Hold on. They were in a straight jacket.
They were in hell, dog.
I have to send you this tweet, bro. Because it's nothing's more true. Where the hell are you at?
They were just the Giants were in living hell, like the entire game. 7 sacks, 12 quarterback hits, and I always forget how official stats work sometimes, especially with the quarterbacks. Do the sacks also count as quarterback hits, or do quarterback hits? They do,
because you technically hit the quarterback.
Okay,
but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. If not, it's whenever you hit the quarterback, that's not a sack. If not, then they hit the quarterback 12 times separately from the 7 sacks. If it's not,
so that's what I was thinking, which means they hit the quarterback 19 times.
Yeah, I think that's how that works.
Okay. See, NFL stats.
I think they're separate entities. If not, I don't know.
I feel like when it comes to sacks and quarterback and tackles for loss, they do.
Because I don't even wait. Because sacks and tackle for loss count as the same thing. I do know that from Madden. That I know from Madden. They're the same thing.
Yes. Okay. So if this article is accurate, which it was written in 2019, and it doesn't look like a real place. Like it doesn't look like this should be a real website. Quarterback hits and sacks. So 7 of the 12 quarterback hits were sacks. So it wasn't 19 total hits on the quarterback, which makes me feel better, because if it was, my God,
my Lord, my Lord.
My Lord. Speaking of,
I hope Daniel Jones invested in that money, because he gonna be out the league if he getting hit like that every goddamn game.
Yeah. Speaking of sacks, Mel Tucker's about to get sacked and lose his job for a cause, and not like he just had to be a decent human being, and he would have been fired for cause in like 2 years and got like a $40 million buyout and just been cool. But he couldn't be a decent human being. And here's the thing, right? Before we even get to Mel Tucker, I have something I need to get off my chest. I'm so tired of these administrations knowing about whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is,
Yep.
rape, sexual assault, sexual harassment, hazing, insert fireable offense, and doing absolutely nothing about it until the media finds out.
Yep.
Because here's the thing: if what Mel Tucker did was worth or qualifies as an offense that you can suspend him without pay, hint, it was. Why was he not suspended without pay in December? Or if you want to wait until July when the official report was done, why was he not suspended without pay in July? So
July.
and then you set his hearing in October, and if the media never found out, you were going to let him coach all the way up until October, have a hearing, and then potentially fire him off of the hearing, depending on what was determined in the hearing, and nobody was going to know about it. No news release, no press release, no tweets, no statements, no suspension, nothing. The literal second the news in the public finds out, he's now suspended without pay.
Yep.
But you've at least had a report since July. I just want for once the breaking news to be insert head coach was fired for cause due to this, and that be the first time we hear about it.
Yep.
Insert head coach was suspended without pay due to this, and this be the first time we hear about it. I'm so tired of hearing about insert coach was suspended without pay because insert news media outlet leaked a story that we really just hoped you never found out, and we hope that we could hide underneath the rug so that nobody found out. So
because
that
if
we
it's
did
being
nothing.
leaked, my thing is like, if it's being leaked, you're completely correct when they're saying they're trying to just throw it under the rug, because he should have been suspended. If these allegations, just the allegations alone, should have had him suspended until the hearing,
right? If it's worth suspending him today,
right?
Why wasn't it worth suspending him in July? That's my question.
Or at least when you found out about the allegations,
which would have been December.
Yeah.
So if we go back to December, you let him go through spring, you let him go through summer, you let him go to Big Ten Media Days, make all these videos.
He's coached 2 games.
He's coached 2 games. He went all through fall camp. Like
October's the end of the season.
Basically,
pretty much.
It was they were going to go through their bye week.
Oh, brother. Come on. Y'all weren't even trying to do anything.
No, they were trying to hide it.
Was there even going to be a hearing?
Supposedly. Who knows? But, and so I guess so let's talk about what actually allegedly did or didn't happen.
It's September. Hold on, July.
Yes, Dante. The report was finished in July. So again, even if you were going to wait for the report to be finished, it was finished in July. And the hearing was set for October in July. Why was he at least not suspended without pay?
Why was it set in October? July? I don't understand. What other things you got going on?
Underneath coach football games. They put it during a bye week.
You haven't been. You know what's crazy? I mean, it's not like he's been coaching games that well in the first place.
They literally said, "Hey, coach. So I know this is inconvenient for you. When would you like to do it?" And he was like, "The bye week. I mean, I'm not coaching football during that time. Like, I would. You know, how about then? That it would be convenient for me for you to have this hearing about my potential sexual misconduct during the bye week, because I would like to not miss a game. I would like to be focused on game
and still getting paid."
And it's just like if it was a offense that was eligible to fire him, to suspend him without pay, why did you have to wait until the public found out about it?
The public found out. And then again, what confuses me is like, okay, is this administration going to be investigated now? Because I feel like it should be.
because Northwestern's administration still hasn't been investigated, and who's going to investigate it? We've already talked about it. So if you haven't heard,
true, because it should be the NCAA. That's what your job is supposed to be.
But instead, they're worried about not approving transfers for players. Mel Tucker is accused of sexual harassment long story short, basically, um, what is her name?
Fondling? Could you
No,
say that?
no, it wasn't fondling.
Well, I was going to say himself.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. So I want to get her name right. I want to make sure I say her name right and actually because here we go. This came out from USA Today. Brenda Tracy. So here's the thing, okay? So Brenda Tracy, and I hope I don't get any of this wrong, but Brenda Tracy was raped and sexually assaulted some years ago. And due to this, she has become a very large advocate for educating men, especially athletes, on rape and sexual assault and trying to prevent it. So essentially, she, as she has been known to do, went to Michigan State and presented. Mel Tucker, who supposedly was estranged from his wife at this point, developed a friendship with her that became personal on both of their accounts. Became
Okay.
personal on both of their accounts. That is agreed upon that it, whatever. So it continues. He, according to her and according to the news article, flips the switch. She thinks they're friends. He starts to become sexual. He starts to flirt with her. He starts to comment on her body, send her pictures from her Instagram talking about, oh, you look this, you look that. So this continues. She has texts from her sending to her friends of her saying, I've talked to him. I told him we could only be friends. I'm glad it didn't get weird. Like, I'm glad it didn't ruin our relationship, our business relationship, because she had been back and forth to their campus a couple of times.
Right.
So this continues. She thinks they're fine. They've agreed to be friends. He's like, I don't want this to get out. I don't want my wife to find out, even though they're estranged. This would be bad for both of us, whatever. So she comes back for something, and he's texting her, trying to get her to come into his hotel, trying to get him to sneak into her hotel so no one finds out. She says no. Some more time progresses. They're on the phone for whatever reason. And she says that she starts to notice his voice changes and it gets deeper and it gets hot and heavy. What are you doing? He's fondling himself. He is masturbating on the phone with her. Um, he alleges that it was phone sex. She says that it was not. He alleges that they had a consensual relationship and that they were two adults who lived far from each other, and so they were engaging in phone sex and things that you do as two adults in relationship, long distance relationships. That's what he's alleging. She's alleging that they were having a conversation. Sure, it was late at night, and he, whipped it out on the phone and started touching himself. And it was very obvious because she could tell and asked him about it, and he admitted to it. And he has admitted to touching himself to everyone. That is non-disputable. What is disputed to him is that they were having phone sex and that she decided that it wasn't phone sex and submitted an allegation. So as we've said before, at bare minimum, this is a fireable offense because he was having even if it was consensual, he was having a relationship with essentially a vendor, someone who
Yeah.
had been paid by the school, a
Right.
business partner, where he had also used his money to buy her gifts and these other things. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So even if it was consensual, even if it was phone sex, it's still a fireable offense
Yeah.
because
Because
you are
that's
having a relationship with
that's
someone who had been
usually
paid by the university,
yeah. I
someone
think
that
that's
you
illegal.
brought in.
I
You
think
can't do that.
yeah. I think that's illegal. Pretty much.
So bare minimum, it's a fireable offense. According to him, it is um, phone sex. So then, a couple of months later, she
Either way,
decides.
he should have been fired just off the business
Yes,
practice alone. Just the
right.
business practice alone.
Not including the fact that it probably was sexual harassment
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they
Like
lie all the time. And
the thing is that I'm I'm not trying to downplay that part at all. I want to get that straight. I'm not trying to downplay that part. My thing is that At the bare minimum, he should have been fired in December off of business practices alone.
Yep.
Like alone, if the administration was doing their job, because it's like
And if,
you can't do that. You literally can't do that.
yeah, and so according to him, this was a consensual relationship because she sent him her Zelle so he could buy her shoes. She sent him her shoe size so he could buy her shoes. She sent her Cash App or Zelle so he could send her money. He donated to her charity. Like this is what like these were gifts out of a relationship for her and to her nonprofit. Um,
Hmm.
And so to him, it's like, no, this is a relationship. See, I bought her shoes because no one has ever bought shoes for someone that they weren't dating, right? No one has ever donated to a charity to try to woo someone, right? Like that is absolute proof that this was consensual and that, you know, everything was above board. Their illegal relationship was above
Yeah.
board, right? So, let's see. According to him, she said that he wanted a sugar daddy, that she wanted a sugar daddy. He did only $2,500 to a nonprofit, all of these other kind of things. Um, okay, so this was after the spring game.
And you
He
know,
suggested slipping her into the
it's so
hotel in the
dumb
back
because
door so
where
no one
she
would see him. This, oh, he also lied because he said he was at home. This happened while he was in a hotel that was paid for by the university, by the way.
Oh, so yeah. So now your whole story is just bullshit.
Yeah. Uh,
That one line. I mean, I figured you were lying regardless, but
And on top of all of this, this is happening again. Not that it should happen to anyone, but it's happening again to a survivor of sexual assault.
I was about to say that's what I was about to say.
Right.
It's gotta be the dumbest crime. It's dumb.
Yeah. So then after this happens, he cancels a visit again because they were business partners. He cancels a visit, lies essentially, and says that, oh, we just had someone else come in. Reports show that they found that no one else spoke to the team that day. So he canceled her visit after she denied his advances and didn't like the fact that he was masturbating on the phone. He says that he was angry about her gossiping about him and his wife's marital issues. He said he lost trust in her, which is why the visit was canceled. Not that he was masturbating on the phone call. And he has multiple, it took him months to sit down for the interview. And multiple times him and his lawyer has tried to derail this. One of her witnesses was her assistant, who was her best friend, died in a car accident. And they tried to use that as an excuse to why this case should no longer continue because she doesn't have a witness, because the witness died in a car accident.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's a lawyer, so that makes sense. But wow. Oh. Not only he's a dumb bad liar. Like he's a dumb bad liar. And then what do you mean he lost trust? He's all right. Yeah, he's an idiot. Okay. And I already knew he was an idiot by the way he coached. But he's an idiot monster. That's really what he is. The lack of self-awareness is incredible.
So after this, right? Here's the thing. I get that he's rich, but do innocent people offer settlements? Offer settlements. His lawyer reached out to her lawyer twice to offer a settlement, not respond to a settlement offer, to like, hey, I will pay you to shut up.
Yep.
Essentially, I don't know any innocent people that do that. Then him and his lawyer urged Michigan State to drop Tracy's complaint. In January, they sent a 12-page letter to the school arguing it lacked jurisdiction to investigate Tucker's purely personal relationship with Tracy. Not that he didn't do it, that the school is not legally allowed to investigated was his thing. This was
They
personal.
literally are.
This is personal, and this is personal, and you're not allowed to investigate it. That was his
Yes, they
argument.
are.
He also said
You
that again
did it with
today.
a
He also said
vendor,
that again
idiot.
today. He said that again today, by the way, because he released a statement right before we got on. And they literally one
I'm baffled by the stupidness. I'm baffled by it.
so someone, a board chairman and co-founder of the association Title IX, wrote to an expert witness report asserting that policing off-duty employees off-duty activities would set a dangerous precedent, and said, can employees never have phone sex? How far does Michigan State intend to go in policing the private conduct of its employees, and how does it expect 20 plus thousand employees to react when they find out that they can no longer have private lives outside the reach of their employer? That's the card that they're trying to pull. That he's the victim because his employer is
But that doesn't mean, but again, but
investigating.
I know. You know what's crazy? Every job I've ever gotten, I was handed or emailed by HR.
Listen, he lied, right? So he said he was back at home. They have verified that he was in Naples, Florida, the day of the call and attending the Greg Montgomery Foundation golf outing on the school's dime. There's an expense report that he put in for the hotel and meal costs, so the trip's purpose was administrative and did not involve any personal travel. The cost was paid by the Spartan Fund, the athletics department's fundraising arm. He had flown to Florida on a donor's private plane.
Because he's like, my employer has no right to investigate this. Yes, they do. If it's on their dime.
Right? Like
at the but again, they do because you did it with a vendor that they paid. That's illegal.
And you did it at a vendor that they paid while at a hotel that they paid for after flying on a private flight from a donor to the school. Again, even if she's lying, which is doubtful, it's still a fireable offense.
There is
no. You admitted it.
You admitted it. You said, okay, yes, I had this illegal, dumbass relationship. Because it's even dumb. If anything, if it'd be smarter on his end to be just to deny the fact that you did that. Because you said
he couldn't do that because
business relationship, and your dumbass keeps going, no. It wasn't a business relationship. It was an actual personal relationship. Dude, that's illegal. It's illegal, stupid. And then you put in an invoice?
Hold on. I have to read this, okay? Yes, I did have a late night intimate conversation with Miss Tracy in April of 2022. Again, as even Miss Tracy's statements to the investigator confirm, this conversation had nothing to do with the university and was outside the scope of Title IX or any university policy. This is an official letter. He puts in parentheses, by the way, while press reports have called this a Title IX investigation, that's inaccurate. The university admitted there's no Title IX jurisdiction, so the investigation of my private life was relegated to an alleged policy violation. That's in an official letter.
This man said alleged.
By the way, like, what are we talking about?
He didn't read his contract.
While I am saddened by Miss Tracy's disclosure of the sensitive nature of this call, let me be perfectly clear. It was an entirely mutual private event between two adults living at opposite ends of the country. She initiated the discussion that night, sent me a provocative picture of the two of us together. What's the provocative picture? What is the provocative picture of the two of you together if you hadn't done anything provocative previously? What picture could she have sent you? Okay. Suggested what she may look like without clothes, and never once during the 36 minutes did she object in any manner, much less hang up on the phone. So she didn't hang up on me while I was touching myself, so it was okay. That's the defense. That's the defense. The defense is she didn't hang up.
Fine. All right, cool. You have this very consensual relation relationship, it's still illegal, stupid. It's against company policy, dummy. It's you can't, because it's a bribe. It's a bribe, which is illegal. You idiot.
Hold on, Dante. The provocative picture, it was of them at the spring game.
Like outside around
So
a bunch
a
of people.
video of them taken in public, fully clothed. Because I think if they were naked, or if she was naked, or if anybody was naked at the spring game, we would a provocative picture of them at a public event with 50,000 plus people there that was also televised. She sent him a picture of them at the spring game.
How does
hold on?
This is he the one that supplied the picture? Please tell me he was the one that supplied the picture.
This Dante, please don't. Do you know how to access the chat, the comments in here?
Yeah. It should be like...
Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. How do I send you a message on here? You have to look at this story because please, this better not be. Okay, I'm just gonna send it in Slack.
Nah, man, nah.
This better not. The picture that's on this Instagram better not be the picture that they're talking about. And even if it's not the picture that they're talking about, it's pretty damn close.
It's the same day.
It's the same day. So like this. Even if this isn't the exact picture, this would have been close. Which is a picture of her wearing jeans and a shirt that says "Set the X." You sexually harassed someone that was wearing a shirt that advocated against sexual harassment. A picture that was posted.
You are telling. So you're gonna tell me. You're telling me this man said she sent a provocative picture of her
in jeans.
This is pretty much against sexual harassment.
What's the
and it's saying this was a consensual relationship.
I don't mean to laugh because this is
it's idiotic. That's why you're laughing.
What's the provocative?
What is your
the jeans?
What is your defense? What is your defense? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
The jeans was the provocation.
Huh?
Hold on. According to Tucker, he became aroused when Tracy made a comment about needing to hit the gym more to look better without clothes. They then discussed how having phone sex could complicate the relationship, but Tracy suggested once would be harmless, and he agreed. Huh? What? That just doesn't make. Who believes that? Who would believe that?
That's not even how people talk. That sounds like someone wrote that.
Dante,
that sounds like a bad show.
You're an adult who has been in relationships and has done other things. We don't have to get into that. Have you ever started a conversation about, like, have you ever heard anyone say, like, man, I need to go to the gym so I can look better naked, and then that leads to phone sex? But like, oh no, like it doesn't even sound believable for 16. Like this literally, the only way this sounds believable is like a parent took their 16-year-old. Like, I can't even see how this makes sense in any area. Because I need to go to the gym to look better naked.
Yeah, because it
leads to phone sex.
Even if you were, again, if this was, if he was right, which he's obviously not, he's an idiot. But if this was a consensual relationship, this doesn't sound like someone trying to start something arousing. It sounds like an insecurity topic.
It's because, like,
because then you're oblivious. You're even oblivious to her. Even if y'all were in a relationship, you're oblivious to what's going on.
She's like, I'm insecure about my body, and he's like, oh, tell me more. Ooh, like, what? Them jeans, you look hella good in jeans. Like,
like, even if you weren't, if it was consensual, you're a bad boyfriend. You're like,
I just don't get it, bro.
I don't. Again, and then you're a bad. not only you're a bad boyfriend, it's an illegal relationship that you admitted to. And then the sad part, the idiotic part, because it's not just him and it's not just his lawyer. Michigan State's administration is just as stupid because you just suspended him. It's an illegal. It's illegal, and he admitted to it. What do you need to have a hearing for? He admitted to it.
I don't know every woman ever, right? I don't. Have you ever met a woman that initiated phone sex?
Yes, but
okay.
But that doesn't help the situation.
Okay. So, like I said, I don't know every woman ever. I like in my experience, it's almost always the guy, because like in this, he wants us to believe that she sent him a picture of her fully clothed,
right?
And that led to her initiating phone sex. If she was initiating, why wouldn't she?
Right. I forgot about that part. There's so much dumb. I forgot that you said that.
I need to go to the gym to look better naked, and it wasn't. And she was flirting with you, and it wasn't accompanied by a nude of her naked. It was accompanied with a picture of y'all together in public at a spring game. She wanted phone sex. In 2022, when there's FaceTime, and it wasn't on FaceTime.
Is this the spring
game?
There were
no videos. There were no pictures.
So unsexy. Try her hardest to be not sexy whatsoever. Like that's not the vibe she's giving in the slightest. This man's sick.
It's just,
this man's an idiot. This man's an idiot. This man's an idiot. Because now I'm looking at the picture. I'm looking at the picture, right?
To have phone sex with you. Why would she send you a picture of her fully clothed?
The provocative picture.
There's so much room. They're not even touching each other. Like they're not even close. It doesn't even look like they're friends. It doesn't even look like the picture where your mom is like, act like you like each other. They look
like business associates. This man is sick. This man is sick.
So, long story short, Mel Tucker should be fired.
Should be gone.
And then, hold on. There's one other thing I have to get into. And this is how I know this man is cooked. And this is bad on so many levels. So, where's it at? She only owns one set of tops, and they all say the exact same thing. Dante. He says this, and this investigation has not been fair or unbiased. I can only conclude that there is an ulterior motive designed to terminate my contract based on some other factors, such as a desire to avoid any Nazir taint, which I think is the guy that went to jail for sexual assault. Let me make sure I'm right on that.
Please don't tell me this was a teammate of his, or not a player of his that he's trying to throw under the bus. Even if, again, like
no, Larry Nassar. It's the dude. Yeah, it's the dude that was sexually assaulting gymnasts and stuff at Michigan State. Oh, okay. I get what he's saying. So Larry Nassar was sentenced to 40 to 175 years in prison for sexually assaulting women on the U.S. women's national gymnastics team and exploiting young athletes. He was a Michigan State. So basically what he's trying to say is because Michigan State, Larry Nassar was from Michigan State, that when he was accused of sexual assault, they just decided to fire him because of that investigation. Hey, that would sound reasonable to me personally, but I don't know. We have a university where a rich white man at that was sentenced to 40 to 175 years in prison because of what he did to athletes on campus and to women on the U.S. women's national gymnastic team. I'm sorry that we feel you shouldn't work here, and we feel like we should take a harder stance on sexual assault after we didn't take a hard stance on sexual assault. Like that's the problem. Like oh, God forbid they decide.
Wait, no. Here's you know what's crazy about that? You know what's crazy about that? What he's saying here is, it's ridiculous that you are learning the lessons the woman I brought in to teach these lessons.
Oh my God. He's saying y'all let Larry Nassar get away with sexual assault. Now
I should be able to. Like, why learn the lessons? I'm trying to teach my better. Why are you learning the lesson I'm trying to teach my players by having this woman come in and talk about these things and learn to be better?
Because would he not have kicked his player off the team for doing this?
Oh!
Because now you're a hypocrite. Because either you would have kicked the player off the team, and
or you wouldn't have. And what's the point?
You're a hypocrite regardless. But you're a hypocrite regardless. There's no way to spin this. Hold on, Josh, I'm not finished.
Dumbass. He's so stupid.
I'm not finished. So he goes with the how dare you want to fire me for sexual assault, and then he says, or they want to fire him because of his race or gender. Let's take a pause on race really quickly. What man has ever been fired for being a man? Gender? Is there a head football coach anywhere in college or the NFL that's a woman that a man should be fearful of his job? What is your gender? Before we get to race, what does your gender have to do with this, please? Why do they want to fire you for being a man, Mel Tucker? So now let's get to the race. So you sexually assault, harass, and try to bribe a woman, and now you're getting fired because you're black. You pulling the race card now?
It hasn't even been fired.
You pulling the race card?
They're still getting it wrong.
And to the point, what you mad at? The school tried to hide it with you, dog. Like you what are you mad at? What are you mad at?
They tried to hide it. They was on your side, stupid. Oh my God.
It was on your side, dog, until the news dropped. If it would have never dropped, we never would have found out. So what are they doing?
Which is the problem. Which is still the problem. Like, bro, they did everything in their power to help you, and you still like, bro.
And now he's pulling the fire
because I'm black. You know what?
So hold on. So let me get this right. He's either going to be fired because he's black, he's going to be fired because he's a man in a male-dominated sport, or he's going to be fired because they learned from the past and decided not to support someone who committed a crime against a woman.
The whole thing, that's the whole thing you brought her there for. You're a hypocrite regardless. Because you brought her there for what? For what?
Because you thought she had a fat ass. That's why. You didn't bring because you didn't want to learn nothing. You obviously didn't want to fly. You were attracted to her, and you said, "Yeah, let me fly her out on company dime." So because me and my wife are estranged. Let me see if I can get in. That's what.
That's insane. It's insane. It's bold as fuck. Like, cause I'm black.
This shit is making me sick.
And the thing is, you know why I had nothing to say about the man thing? It's because it's stupid.
It doesn't even make sense.
It's stupid, and it just adds on to the amount of stupidity he has said the entire time.
The thing is, Michigan State hasn't learned because they didn't fire him.
Nope.
They waited until you, and then unlike the Northwestern,
he still isn't fired. Apparently, still
no.
So.
Unlike the Northwestern thing, it wasn't the local school paper that dropped it. It was USA Today, a national media outlet. It wasn't even like some 19-year-old who had heard some rumors on campus and did some journalism. No. It was a national source.
Because you had an official investigation.
And on top of this, Michigan State has one of the biggest or best student newspapers out there. Almost at least 20, 30, 40% of the sports journalists you listen to or we talk about, whether we like them or not, have been from Michigan State. If anyone here has the Athletic, half of the people at the Athletic are from Michigan State. And that student journalism department didn't find this out. It had to be USA Today. So the school didn't learn from the Larry Nassar thing.
Nope.
And that is your excuse? They learned from something and fire and are now suspending you, but they clearly didn't learn because they didn't suspend you when it first came out.
It's dumb again because it proves how stupid he is. Because your argument is something they didn't even do.
Like it's something he didn't even do. You know he did it, bro, because he's just throwing any and everything out there, trying to confuse people, so he seems innocent.
He's a psychopath.
Race,
he might be a psychopath.
I'm a man, because of my gender.
Because it's like, bro, I don't even know a female assistant football coach. And like I
think
there might be a few
in the NFL.
There are probably a few in the NFL.
A couple in the NFL.
But in college,
I don't know any. And partially you can't. And just think, a woman who has previously been sexually assaulted and raped by athletes, who has dedicated her career to traumatizing herself by sharing her story with the type of people that victimized her, has to be victimized by the person who brought her in to traumatize herself, so his players didn't do to
what you
other
did.
Women what happened to her, and then you did it to.
Incredible. That's why I'm saying he's a psychopath. He's an evil person, because it's so inhumane to do such a thing that you have to be crazy. You have to be evil. And then all your excuses obviously tell you don't care because you're not even trying. You're not even trying. They're all BS. You're a sick person.
I don't know.
You're a sick human being. You're lucky at not getting arrested. And this man's talking about his job.
Talking about people in his personal business.
You sound like one of those people.
And you're still married.
Yeah. You legit sound like a criminal. You sound like a sexual assaulter.
You sound like every man ever that's like, I did this, but I'm going to tell them that it was consensual and hope that they agree. Like, this is the same.
And honestly,
I don't remember.
He admitted it.
Yeah.
He admitted it. At the very fucking least, he admitted to a illegal relationship between someone and using company money to pay for said relationship. And the stupid administration still didn't do that simple job of firing him. For that alone. They're incompetent and then learn nothing from the past.
And here's the thing. We don't know. But do we know for sure that the donation came from him and not from the school's funds? Because it would make sense for a school who has paid someone to come and visit to donate to their charity. Like, sure, the shoes probably came from him, but how do we know that he didn't use university funds to pay that $2,500? I'm not saying he did. We don't know. And it really wouldn't make that big of a difference because he already has a list of other fireable offenses.
The initial thing is a fireable offense. The relationship you admitted to that you're trying to pay, because you're trying to get around getting fired for doing something you definitely still should get fired for anyway. For saying it was consensual. Okay, cool, but you still should be fired for that.
And at bare minimum, are you 12, dog? Like, I love women. I can't tell you the last time I've seen a woman in jeans and a dry fit shirt tucked in and be like, let me pull up my computer. Like, what?
No, bro.
Like, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Everything that you say is either dumb, thick, twisted, psychotic, or a mix of the four.
Yep.
There's not a single part of this story that
none of this
sense.
was saying. None of this makes any sense. None of your excuses makes any sense. The more you read, the dumber it got, and I was like, honestly, truthfully, short. What's her name? I want to make sure I get her name right. Rebecca
Tracy.
Tracy. Tracy doesn't even have to talk. She just had to make. She literally was like, bro, just put out that he was doing what he was doing, and he just talked himself into a corner. And again, bro, you're still not fired, and you threw the school under the bus.
And the thing, it's just like I want to be careful.
They still helping you. They should have fired you off of that, and they still helping you.
Yeah. And like, I want to be careful here because I'm not trying to like sexualize her, and everyone has their own insecurities. She looks like other women's inspiration. I will just say that. So it is fair that maybe she has some insecurities, right? Cool, whatever. That's not what I'm trying to get into. My point is this. I just lost a lot of weight. I know a lot of people that want to lose weight or are losing weight. Very rarely is the sole purpose so that you can look good naked. Because how many people are seeing you naked? So even that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, even that is unbelievable. That she said to you, I need to go to the gym so I can look good naked.
And was this and this was said over the phone?
Supposedly.
Okay, so yeah, there's
like the more you dig down into it, the less likely it
and then again seems. This idiot said, well, I mean, this conversation happened at home. Bro, there's financial records proving you're lying. It's like paying for a crime with a check. Like, what are you doing?
We could call the hotel right now and see when you checked out, bro. We can pull up flights. Even private flights
still have records. Everything has records. Everything have to, because you have to. You got to keep track of gas. Like somebody got to pay for it. There's got to be a receipt.
I flew home. Okay, air traffic control, flight manifest, gas, there's so workers, pilot. So many people to call. So many people to ask.
It's got to be the dumbest. Oh my god, he's so stupid. He's so stupid. So, and it's like, anyway. I thought he was dumb by how he coached, and he is. He is.
So Mel Tucker's probably going to get fired at some point. I didn't think we were going to spend so much time on this, but the more you hear about it, it's just so annoyingly frustrating.
Probably is going to be. He should already have been fired in December. He should have been fired in December.
At minimum July.
At minimum July. And then no, sir. At minimum, when they announced the suspension. At the minimum.
Because the report's done. What are you waiting to do? What more information are you trying to find out?
He admitted
you have the report. He admitted it.
You have word testimony from this man admitting to.
You have proof that he lied. You have proof that this happened.
Not only did Michigan State not learn their lesson, they got dumber. Okay. Look, see, we did learn our lesson. We suspended him. Sure, bro, we can read. Like, he's so. Oh my god, it's dumb. It's dumb.
All right, we're gonna go on break.
I've never read an article dumber. I've never read an article dumber. Like, the article's not stupid. It's just all the information from his end is just stupid. Stupid.
I really don't. I don't know what's dumber. Doing this, like not doing this, like coming out and making this statement and saying all these unbelievable things, or wearing shirts in support of your coach that just got fired for hazing while you were hazing people.
I'm sorry.
You saw that Northwestern did that. We talked about it. You
Did
did
we?
it?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
we don't even have time to get into that. But yes, they were wearing shirts that had Fitzgerald's number, and it was like Fitzgerald against the world or something about Fitzgerald, and they were wearing it and caught on. And then the head coach. No, we did talk about it because the head coach was like, I don't believe the head. Yeah, we did talk about it because the head coach was like, I don't believe in stopping people's freedom of speech. Yeah, you do. That's all football coaches do is control what players do all the time. And the
But
one time you
nah.
didn't want to control them is when they were wearing shirts supporting the dude that just got fired from hazing.
Who paid for them shirts? Oh wait, they get money now. That's right. Never mind.
No. Coaches had them on too. Not all of them, but coaches had them on too. Which goes also to the point of the coaches knew and participated, but we don't have time to talk about it. We can't relitigate that. There's so much shit going on right now. We're gonna take a break and we're gonna try to talk about football. And I don't even want to talk about football anymore. Like that was supposed to be like a quick thing. It was 50 minutes because the more first of all, I wanted to get it right, and I didn't want to disrespect someone who's already been disrespected by like trying to breeze through it. But the more you talk about it, the more it just continues and just gets worse. Okay, so we'll take a break. We'll be right back, and then we're going to try to get you some football. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the I-80 Football Show, where somehow we're going to try to talk about football.
Jordan, I'm going to tell you right now, though, we did not talk about that Northwestern thing. That's the first I've heard of that.
I could have swore we did.
Okay. That's the first I've heard of that. Yep. We haven't talked about Northwestern in a while. That's the first I've heard of that.
It happened.
That is incredible.
It happened a couple of weeks ago, but maybe we didn't talk about it.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Okay. So football. Football. We had a decent week last week. As far as our picks.
You ain't put no names over these. Who's
I know which one it is. Yeah, we had a decent week. Not as good as we wanted because some people just lost games inexplicably. But Dante went 14-4. I went 15-3. We are a total of Dante is 30-4. I'm 31-3. The difference is I picked Kansas and you picked Illinois. That's the difference. All the other games were upsets that we both lost. That's where the one difference is. So last week, Indiana beats Indiana State 41-7. Kansas beats Illinois 34-23. Penn State beat Delaware 63-7. This is one of the games that we got wrong. Colorado beats Nebraska 36-14. Purdue beat Virginia Tech 24-17. Ohio State beat Youngstown State 35-7. Iowa beat Iowa State 20-13. Michigan State beat Richmond 45-14. Michigan beat UNLV 35-7. This is another game that we got wrong. Northwestern beat UTEP 38-7. Maryland squeaked one out because they were losing for most of this game against Charlotte 28-20. Minnesota beat Eastern Michigan 25-6. Rutgers beat Temple 36-7. And this is really quickly on Rutgers because we're not going to talk about that game. This is the thing that I'm talking about where like Rutgers has improved, but it's not going to look like it. Temple is a Division I program, and it's not Kent State. 36-7, like Rutgers has gotten better, but it's just not enough because they're in the Big Ten. Like, just from the point, like shout out to Rutgers.
Coming to the Big Ten just wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, you have to win these games, otherwise you're only going to have one win all season. So like, shout out to them for at least living up to being a Big Ten program and beating programs that should be lesser than every Big Ten program. So shout out to Rutgers for getting that win because it's going to be a rough season. It's always a rough season in the Big Ten. Wisconsin lost to Washington State 31-22. This game was ugly, and it was not as close as the final score. Like,
was it
Wisconsin,
really?
Just disgusting. Like,
really?
I'm ashamed. We're going to talk about it. I'm ashamed.
Oh,
UCLA beat San Diego State 35-10. USC beat Stanford 56-10. Washington beat Tulsa 43-10. Oregon should have lost this game. Oregon beats Texas Tech 38-30. They go up 31-30, and then they return a fumble for a touchdown or an interception for a touchdown at the end of the game to make it 38-30. Should have ended 31-30, and they really should have lost that game. So that's the weekend. We're going to be very, very, very. This has already been long. We're not going to go into the review. I just have a couple of things to say about these games. Iowa scores 20 points, but 7 of it was a pick six.
Damn, they're doing that again.
Are you ready to apologize for
yes,
yes.
Like,
because how dare you be?
But also, that's always is Iowa State always a close game usually? That'll be my only excuse.
Because they both suck on offense, I guess. I'm gonna say yes. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I found this new website, and I don't know a whole lot about it yet because it's a lot of advanced stats that I haven't looked in, and it's like EPA and stuff like that, and I'm just not like super into that because I just like to watch football. But I just want to read you these stats really quickly to talk about how bad Iowa's offense was.
Oh, fuck.
EPA is expected points added.
Okay.
I don't know how they come up with it. I don't do too much.
So it's like it's like a guess. Like, this is how many points they should have scored.
No, it's like
I don't like advanced stats.
I don't like them either.
Yeah, but hey, maybe I'm just an old head.
You are, because it's supposed to be like really helpful.
I get some of them, not all of them.
Yeah, I just don't exactly understand like. It's a measure of success which defines the value of each play by the effect it has on the offense's likelihood to score. So it's basically just like a percentage of like, basically the best way to look at it is, was this a positive play or negative?
Negative play. Okay.
It's almost like plus minus in basketball. It's a little bit more detailed than that, but essentially it's, is this play helping you score points or not?
Got you.
So their EPA per play was negative 24. So most of their plays did not help them score.
Most of their plays were negative plays.
Yeah, their success rate, just overall success rate on a play was 31%. Their yards per play was 4.6. Their EPA per drop back was negative 0.27. Their EPA per rush was negative 0.21.
Oh my God.
Explosive play rate 4%. Third down success rate 32%. Red zone success rate 25%. And I'm going to read the percentiles really quickly. 12%, 12%, 18%, percentiles, so out of 100, 21st percentile, 19th percentile, 37th percentile, 9th percentile, 25th percentile, 22nd percentile, 2nd percentile. Awful in every imaginable category. That was their offense. That's the only thing I have to say. I had a little bit more to say, but we spent so much long on Mel Tucker. Like this episode can't go for 3 hours. So awful.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. And I didn't watch the game. I wasn't going to watch the game because I knew it would be gross. Wow. You're right.
Cade McNamara was 12 of 22 for 123 yards and an interception. Who does that sound like?
Sounds like
their quarterback last year. And here's the thing. And the interception, because that was supposed to be his plus, that he doesn't throw interceptions. No touchdowns, 1 interception.
Wait, Wisconsin lost this game?
No, this is Iowa. I'm talking about.
No, Iowa. I'm sorry. I'm filling out
Wisconsin. Yes, Wisconsin lost.
Okay, I'm filling out the Excel sheet. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, Wisconsin lost.
We can keep track.
Do you not have the Big Ten game spreadsheet?
Nah.
We'll talk about it later. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I just fill this out anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So Wisconsin lost. So just awful. And here's the thing, just very quickly. I understood why some people were semi-excited about them getting Cade McNamara. But you have to remember, people forget because it was 2 years ago. He was an average quarterback behind the best offensive line in football because they won the Joe Moore Award, and 3 running backs who are going to play in the NFL.
Very true. You're not wrong.
Iowa has none of that. He wasn't a superstar behind that. So what was he going to be when you don't have that? Like, if that's the best he could play.
And it's crazy. I thought average would have been good enough.
But that's the thing. If he was average with all of that, he's going to be below average without it, right? Like if his best was average and he had the best offensive line, he never had to worry about pressure. He could always hand the ball off. He handed the ball off 30, 35 times a game to 3 running backs who are going to be in the league. What are you going to do when you don't have that? You're going to be below average.
Yeah, you're going to be garbage.
There's a chance he could have gotten better, but no one would know that. And I think people were just thinking about the fact that he's a better quarterback than that last one, but they weren't thinking about the things around him.
Yeah.
And so
they should be better,
12 of 22 for 123 yards and an interception.
Do you think if it was a different offensive coordinator, he would be better?
I think he would not be as good as he was at Michigan, because their offensive coordinator wouldn't be better. Like, there's just no way for Iowa to have better than what he had when he was at Michigan.
Yeah,
but enough. I think he could be better than what he is now because he's shown that.
Like, I always thought it was going to be. I think if it was a different offensive coordinator, I think he would be a bit better. I don't know how much.
I think the last quarterback would have been a bit better with the better offensive coordinator.
Fair. You got me there.
So
you got me there.
I was just discussing 2 games in the race to 325, and they haven't hit 25 points yet. So not going well. Oregon loses to Texas Tech. We kind of already talked about this. Oregon should have lost this game. This was not like Texas Tech lost last week to like someone random that they shouldn't have lost to, and then they came in and should have beat Oregon. And this is the thing where like everyone's like Oregon is going to be the second best team in the Pac-12, and it's like they're not.
They're going to put up a lot of points though.
Oregon, these were their stats. Bo Nix, 31 of 43, 357 yards, 2 touchdowns. That sounds cool, right? That sounds okay. Do you know who their leading rusher was? Also Bo Nix, who is not a running quarterback. 8 carries for 49 yards. Their starting running back, 11 carries for 38 yards. Their backup running back, 4 carries for 8 yards. If you can't run the ball against Texas Tech,
man, Texas Tech was
cooked.
Yeah, man, Texas Tech was holding it down.
Bo Nix has been better than what he was at Auburn, but you can't expect him to consistently win you games where he has to throw the ball 43 times. And also expect him not to throw interceptions when he's throwing the ball 43 times.
43 times.
Oregon better watch out.
43 times is a lot.
Yeah.
Man.
And he was also the leading rusher with 49 yards.
Man, he going to be tired.
Awful.
He going to be tired.
And then Wisconsin lost to Washington State.
You said this wasn't as close as the score says. Like, so
no.
Like, was Wisconsin was really getting like they was getting beat up on?
I'm just gonna tell you a stat and you tell me what you think. Chez Malusi, 12 carries for 49 yards. Braylon Allen, 7 carries for 20 yards. The 2 of them rushed for 198 yards and like 5 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
And they were held to 69 yards on 19 carries, 1 touchdown, and a fumble lost.
Yikes. That's their whole offense.
Washington State is not a great team. If they were a better team,
this might have been a blowout.
This would have been ugly.
This might have been a blowout.
This would have been very, very ugly. Again, this is a stat, and advanced metrics or whatever. Washington State got 47, and I don't know how they get this, so I'm not living or dying by this. I just want to say it to emphasize what is going on. Washington State got 47% of their available yards.
So Washington State's potential positive plays, they got 47% of those potential possible.
Yes.
Okay.
And so what I'm imagining that means is like if a wide receiver is open for 10 yards and you overthrow him, you got 0 out of 10 yards, right? Like stuff like that. Like I think that's what it is. And again, I'm not living and dying, and I'm not going to do a whole lot with advanced stats just because like I don't fully understand all of them, and I don't think they say everything about the game. I just wanted to mention a couple of things there. Washington State didn't really play well. Wisconsin just played worse.
That's not good. Do you think it's just they had a bad game?
When you have Braylon Allen and he has 7 carries for 20 yards, I can't say that's a bad game. I don't understand what happened, and I was watching it. I don't understand what happened. Literally, I looked at the stats, and I was like, is Braylon Allen injured? And then I looked at the next play, and he was in the game.
So
I can't explain.
So here's the thing that happens with that, and I guess they should probably still keep doing it. Did they get down a lot early, so they had to throw the ball a lot more than they normally would have?
I mean, no, not. I don't think so. Let me see if I can. Let me see. I'm gonna pull this up another way.
Because only seven carries just seems like they had to throw the ball more than run the ball because they were down bad early.
Let me see. Am I? I don't think I'm wrong about that. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think. This is horrible podcasting, but we ball. We make it work. We do what we can. Okay, so technically, yes, they did. It was that's not impossible. You still should have been able to run the ball, but like if you wanted to make the argument that they
I have no idea what you just said.
Was that sound playing? Or you just couldn't hear me?
I just couldn't hear you.
Okay, I turned on ESPN and it was like playing music in my headphones. They were down 24-9 at halftime. But that's 2 touchdowns. So that shouldn't have been enough to entirely get rid of the running game. But if you wanted to make that argument, technically, I guess you could.
Right. Especially if you're down early and if it's not really working, I don't know. I guess that run game should have been able to work still. So I don't know. How many pass attempts? Hold up, let me see.
It was 40.
Oh my god! So they did throw the ball a lot more.
Yep.
So I'm getting they're 20 something to 9 at half, and maybe probably to start the third, maybe another score for Washington.
Nope, Washington didn't score in the third. They didn't score again into the fourth quarter.
They were just throwing the ball and nothing was working.
Yeah, it just wasn't great. And the thing about it is like you have, no matter what, Washington State shouldn't be able to stop your running game like that.
Nah.
Like, and that is legitimately
not for that long. That's what I'm saying.
Because it's not like, oh, we were running the ball well and then we passed because we had to catch up. Those stats just means you just weren't running the ball well.
Yeah, you didn't run the ball.
Like you could have never used the running game to even help you get back because they shut it down.
Like but my thing is like I feel like they didn't even try. I think they gave up on the run game immediately. That's what it sounds like to me.
They had to have,
because like 7 carries is just not a lot of carries.
Their 2 best rushers had 19 carries combined.
Yeah, that's just you gave up on it against 4. Your quarterback doubled their amount of attempts. 40 pass attempts to 20 combined rushing attempts. Shoot, Braylon Allen should have 19 on his own
by himself.
They just gave up. They just stopped.
Doesn't make me feel good about what's going on there. So, All right, let's move on. AP ranking. Michigan is number 2. We're doing everyone. Michigan is number 2. USC is 5. Ohio State is 6. Penn State is 7. Washington is 8. 5 of the top 8 are going to be in the new Big Ten. And then Oregon is 13. UCLA is 24, and Iowa is 25. So if my count is right, 8 of 25 teams are Big Ten are going to be in the Big Ten next year. Pretty solid.
Iowa's what now?
25.
For what reason?
Dante, don't ask me questions. No, I don't know.
Okay, all right, my bad. Okay, my bad. You right. My bad.
Someone watched that and was like, yes, put him in the top 25. That makes sense. There's
You
no
right.
one
You
else
right. That
deserving
was
of
that.
that
I shouldn't have
spot.
asked that question. That was stupid. That was stupid.
All right. So next week's games. Virginia at
I
Maryland on Friday. It's interesting. Georgia Southern at Wisconsin. Penn State at Illinois. That I will be watching that game for sure. Even though the way Illinois has been playing, that's probably going to be disgusting. Even though it shouldn't be. Louisville at Indiana. So I'm low key intrigued in this game.
I was
So
about to say the same thing.
you remember we talked about Indiana may be better and it may not show because they're in the Big Ten. So Indiana put up 41 points against nobody. But the fact that they could put up 41 points is kind of interesting, especially because Ohio State, after the game, a couple of their players were like, we think this is a team that can make a bowl game because of their defense. Could that have been excuses because Ohio State looked awful? Maybe. Who knows? But I don't know why players would say that if they didn't genuinely believe it. So it's interesting to me because the Indiana I thought going into this game should lose it. The Indiana that could be better than we expected, but still not great, could win this game. So I'm kind of interested in like what this game looks like because if Indiana's defense is legit, they could win this game.
And
but,
if they got to put up more than 7 points, which I think they can do against Louisville.
Yeah, and that it'll also be a good test of their offense because Louisville isn't great, but it's going to be a much better defense than what they faced against Indiana State.
Yeah, and it's not as stout as what you were facing against Ohio State.
Right. So I'm very interested to see what this looks like.
Yeah.
Minnesota at North Carolina. That
I'm interested.
I'm interested for sure, especially because North Carolina almost lost to App State.
Yeah.
Northwestern at Duke. Sorry, Northwestern. Smack.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Minnesota's
smacking. Huh?
No, yeah, it should be. Hold up. Hold on. I'm sorry. I just. So Iowa did Minnesota lost a game, right?
No, they won. It was against Eastern Michigan.
So they're 2-0?
No. They lost first week.
Right. Okay. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to think of any other team that could go in that 25 slot instead of Iowa.
There's probably a lot. I don't know who, but there's got to be someone else. Northwestern at Duke. Sorry, Northwestern. Virginia Tech at Rutgers.
Oh.
I would put Michigan State there over Iowa for sure.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech at Rutgers. That's going to be another interesting game because, like, is Rutgers going to win this game? Like, can Rutgers win another game against an opponent who, you know, maybe has some sort of life? Yeah, so like Indiana and Rutgers it's just interesting. It's just interesting in the instance of like, can they continue being Big Ten dominant while not dominant in the Big Ten? You know what I mean? Like, can they beat other schools even though they look like
can they get themselves into bowl games, which they should be? That's what they should be doing. Yeah,
and you need to beat these teams to do it. Iowa at Western Michigan. I don't know why you would watch that game. Ohio State.
Iowa gonna put up 19 points.
Yeah. What if Iowa didn't put up 25 points all season? Because they did a couple times
last year,
and the year before. They just had a bunch of games where they only put up like 9 and 7 and stuff.
That.
What if they didn't put up 25 all season? That would be hilarious.
Because I actually think it's possible because I don't think the offense is that good. Obviously the offense isn't that good, and the defense is not going to score every game. Like they could.
Because they put up 6 touchdowns last year. They're not going to do that again. It'll be 3 or 4, I think. Even though they already have 1.
I'm going with 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think the defense scores another touchdown, or at least doesn't score more than 2 touchdowns for the rest of the season.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that would be right.
Western Kentucky at Ohio State. This game is interesting for one reason and one reason only. Ohio State's defense has been legitimately locked down the first 2 weeks. And everyone's going to say, but look at the competition. And I'm going to say, but they didn't lock down this same competition the last 3 years. So it's still an improvement for them. They're now doing what they should do when previously they weren't doing what they should do. So, like, I'm not trying to praise them for getting back to what they should be, but you have to acknowledge that they weren't doing it before. But Western Kentucky is going to be a challenge of sorts because Western Kentucky throws the ball a lot. And so Ohio State's biggest issue is their secondary. And the Ohio State of last year and years before would win this game by 4 touchdowns, but would give up 400 yards passing.
And maybe even 20-something points.
Yeah, they would win this like 45-20. And their quarterback would put up like 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, or 2 touchdowns. I just said 20. And a couple of field goals where they stopped them. And they would win. Ohio State would win, but no one would feel good about it. So can they not do that? So that's why it's interesting. It may not be interesting to the masses, but like this is going to be the first game that tells you anything about Ohio State's defense as far as is their passing defense actually decent.
Yeah.
Last week, Austin Reed, Western Kentucky's quarterback, he threw the ball 33 times.
It's a lot of times. He might get 40 this game.
Oh my gosh. ESPN plays music as soon as you get on there, and it was in my ear, and I paused it and it didn't pause, and I muted it and it didn't mute. So all I could hear was "Here I Am" on my own, blaring in my freaking headphones. Oh my gosh! Like ESPN, why do you play? Okay.
So look, listen, they haven't been getting anything right for the past couple of years now.
Yeah. So last week, Austin Reed, their quarterback for Western Kentucky, threw the ball 33 times. He went 27 of 33 for 253 yards and 4 touchdowns. Okay. The week before, I'm scared to go to another freaking screen on ESPN. I'm not even going to do it. I'm going to find the stats somewhere else. I refuse. I can't do it with ESPN right now. Okay. So 33 times. I looked at it the week before. He threw it like a million times the week before. Game logs. So 33 times, 4 touchdowns the week before. That was against Houston Christian. They obviously took him out of the game early. Very, very clearly.
I mean, 4 touchdowns, yeah.
Against South Florida, they threw the ball 50 times. For 336 yards and 2 touchdowns. So against this is against South Florida.
I'm saying, what are they, Purdue?
Yeah, I don't know. So essentially, this game is interesting because if win or lose, if this guy goes 29 of 50 for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, this is the Ohio State of old. So as an Ohio State fan, I'm looking to see him under 225 yards. Under 200 would be great, but I don't believe the defense is that good. If you can hold him 100 yards under what he's averaged so far, I'd be and make him throw an interception. He hasn't thrown an interception all season. If you hold him to 100 yards under what he's averaged and he throws an interception, I'd be happy.
1 touchdown, 1 interception,
something like that. Do you think do you think as a fan that's reasonable to be happy about, or do you think they should?
As a fan, as a normal fan, yes. But y'all won't be.
Okay. So I guess a better way to ask it is, if they did that, would you think their defense was good, or do you think they need to hold them to less
they're on the way
to be good?
They're definitely on the way.
So what would it have to be for you?
I would say I would just say I would say they're on the way to being good. I think they would be good. I would have to just see it again against some competition.
Yeah. Right. But like that would be encouraging.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so NC Central at UCLA on Pac-12 Network, so no one can watch it. Washington at Michigan State, that's going to be a bloodbath on Peacock.
Is it?
Yeah, Washington destroyed them last year.
I know.
Or 2 years ago, whenever they played.
Oh,
are we saying like this is Washington? Like this is
no. I know it's Washington.
Michael Penix is going to put up 500 yards against that defense. NIU at Nebraska. That's another game Nebraska could lose. Bowling Green at Michigan and Syracuse at Purdue. The last game is Hawaii at Oregon.
Hawaii at Oregon?
Yeah.
Aw.
Poor babies.
I'm glad that no one can see that.
Yeah, it's on Pac-12 Network. No one
we're just gonna get highlights, but like
shout out to Pac.
Shout out to no one being able to watch that. I mean, you're able to, but like who wants to?
Right. So, are any of these games of interest to you besides the one that we kind of mentioned?
I would like to see how Wisconsin bounces back. Of course, we said Penn State, Illinois, Indiana. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, that's kind of it. Honestly, I want to see what your reason. The only reason why now Washington, Michigan State is interesting is because what is Michigan State going to do without a coach or without their coach?
Yeah,
that's that's
they weren't
see how
doing
they
much
play,
with them.
how they handle that. That's
bro.
I also want to see if they
be,
come out with shirts or some shit.
I was just about to say that I'm gonna be so done if they come out with shirts.
They
bro.
come out with shirts, bro.
I'm gonna be so over the Big Ten. Like this is sick, bro. Sickening. I don't even know what I'll do.
Because then it's like again, it honestly and truthfully, Michigan State, you learn nothing from that woman coming there. Literally. As a whole, if those idiot players wear shirts. Hopefully they're not idiots.
I hope that they're not, man. I hope they take it serious. Because otherwise, why did Brenda Tracy come?
Why did she go there?
What did you learn? Like,
why did she go there?
You know what I would do?
She just went there for a check, I guess.
You know what I would do personally? I would make a statement against the coach, and I would wear her shirt. I would wear the Michigan State Set the Expectation shirt to say that we've learned something. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
And even if the players didn't believe it as the head coach, because as the interim head coach, because I can do it, I would wear the shirt and I would make the team wear it.
Because at least it gives
even if it's performative, which it probably would be. Even if
for some, it might be for some. It might be for some. I feel like there would be a few players that would wear that and actually. And I feel like coaches and players, there'd be.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. They're not going to do that, but I would come up in the Set the Expectation shirt.
That would make sense. That would make the most sense. They're just going to come out there and play bad football, but that would make the most sense.
Yeah. So,
like, you could come out there in those shirts and then play bad football. Like, at least because then no one will remember the fact that you played bad football. They would talk about that.
Yeah. Sicko's game of the week.
It's literally Hawaii at Oregon, but all right.
Hold on, let me make my case.
Okay.
It's NIU at Nebraska because NIU in week 1 beat Boston College, who is probably a Nebraska level team. But then they went out and lost to Southern Illinois, which is like an FCS team. So
that sounds like this is an interesting game. I don't understand.
But why would you're sick?
No,
I'm sick too. Because I'm gonna watch this
that
game.
That sounds like chaos, and that sounds like an interesting game.
Okay, fair. So Sicko's game of the week is Hawaii at Oregon.
Thank you.
But you're still sick. Your 1B is NIU versus Nebraska. It's 1B, or at least 2A. It's on the list.
But at least that game has a story behind it. I can justify NIU Nebraska. Yeah. I can't justify Hawaii at Oregon. I just can't. Especially since we just watched the Oregon Duck 2 weeks ago do 500-something push-ups.
Yeah.
You don't think Oregon can put up 81 points on Hawaii?
You're right. Actually, Hawaii has looked better the last 2 weeks though. They've looked more competent.
Oh, okay, 67 points. Cool.
I don't even think you can get to 67. Oh no, you could, because you can get to 65 and then a safety. Yeah, 67 is gross.
Like, I'm just throwing out numbers, bro.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna be watching NIU at Nebraska, so I'm
sounds hilarious.
I'm sick as well.
Mac versus Big Ten. And this is the
what do you do? Like, you can't fire the coach, of course, because it's his first year and you haven't done anything at all to help him. But what if they lose that game?
And this is a grace period. This should be a grace period.
Oh wait, no. Minnesota
Other teams have lost to NIU in the Big Ten.
Minnesota is 2-0 because Minnesota beat Nebraska.
So okay, there goes 2 teams that I would pick over Iowa.
Yeah, because that's right. Minnesota beat Nebraska 13-10 or something like that. So yeah, they're 2-0. And
That's
I
two teams.
I hate to feel like I'm like crapping on people because I'm also gonna write about this in my article, but they really like kicked out Casey Thompson for Jeff Sims. And Jeff Sims has 4 interceptions and 2 fumbles in 2 weeks. 2 fumbles lost, by the way, because I'm pretty sure he picked up one and scored a touchdown on it or did something crazy and people were excited. 4 interceptions and 2 fumbles lost in 2 weeks.
It's nasty.
This,
It's nasty.
whether they would have been good or not, this year is so much worse just by the fact that they picked him to be their quarterback. There's nothing positive you're going to get out of this because you never gave yourself a chance because of who you picked to be your quarterback.
Hey,
That's sick. I feel bad for some of those players. Okay, so to end the show, our pit stops. I don't do the bit as much as I should, but pit stops. This is the I-80 football show. We're traveling down I-80, road tripping,
we definitely
backpacking,
need pit
whatever you
stops
want to
now.
call it. Uh, uh,
Going across
uh,
country.
yeah, going across country. And when you do that, you have to take a stop. You have to use the bathroom. You have to
Eat
get some
something.
gas,
Get some
eat
rest.
something, get some rest, sleep in the car, something like that. This is the time where we talk about something that's not Big Ten related. A lot of times it's not football related. Sometimes it is football related. We talk about anything that we want to. Dante doesn't have a pit stop, but he has a lot to say about my pit stop, so it's going to work. So my pit stop before our joint pit stop, it just sucks. J.K. Dobbins tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
The kid just, he hasn't had a shot, man. It just sucks. He was so good at Ohio State. He was so good his rookie year, and he's just been injured ever since. And it just really sucks. Like I really hate that for him. So
that's tragic.
Yeah. So it's so excited for this year for him. Everyone was excited. Like he was looking really good. And first game of the year, tears his Achilles. And all the players talk about how hard it is to bounce back from injuries and the mental health of being in the facility and not getting to play and all of these things. And it just sucks. So thoughts out to JK. Hopefully, and then you have 3 straight injuries. It's like you start to have the conversations of like, should I even play football anymore? Yeah. And he's so young in his career. It's like he shouldn't be having those. It sucks. So just wanted to throw that out there. That sucks. Our joint.
Hope he bounces back though.
Yeah, our joint pit stop. The United States lost because they sent one of the worst teams I've ever seen to the World Cup, and then. Of all the things that make no sense, right? They sent one of the worst teams we've ever seen to the World Cup. And then they say, but we lost because the world is getting better at basketball, which is true. The world is getting better at basketball. But if you know the world is getting better at basketball, why would you send the worst team you could possibly come up with?
You didn't send your best. You didn't send your best. You just didn't. But also, and I'll tell you this right now, the world has gotten better at basketball, not in a talent sense. Yeah, well, yes, in a talent sense, but not fully, right? The world has gotten better at, I would say the US has gotten worse at team basketball. The US has gotten worse at
because they don't teach
fundamental team basketball. That's why they like these players, the players they sent out there suck. Because Jalen Brunson doesn't know how to play team basketball.
No.
Not offensively. No. Michael Bridges kind of does. No. But again, he's not a superstar. He's not the best that the USA has to offer.
It's literally a bunch of
Josh Hart. Come on, Josh Hart knows how to play team basketball, but again, it's Josh Hart. He's a role player.
How did he make this team?
I don't know. I don't think he's a starter for the Knicks, and if he is, again, he's a role player. And that's why we lost because we didn't send the best the USA had to offer. We're not 100% they're not wrong in saying that the world has gotten better at basketball because they have. But I
But
also
it's
would say,
disingenuous to say that because you also sent a horrible roster.
yeah, you didn't send the best you could have. And I'm going to say the United States has gotten worse at fundamental team basketball, and I see it every day. I see it in the NBA. It's still the NBA still has the best talent the world has to offer in basketball, but I see it in the NBA. Because if you look at Philly, Boston, um Memphis, they're not good at team basketball.
No, not in the slightest.
Mm-mm.
So here's the finalized roster for those who didn't know: Paolo Banchero, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, who, by the way, is probably the best player here, and they had him on the bench at first. Also, their coach is Steve Kerr. Ugh, just not serious. Tyrese Halliburton, Brandon Ingram,
who's a good player,
Jaren Jackson Jr., Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler,
and Austin Reeves.
Bobby Portis.
All right, bro.
And Austin Reeves. And Josh Hart somewhere. Because he's on here, but like he's not on this list of the finalized roster. None of these players are a superstar. There's only one. I'll be
there's
nice.
One. I think there's one All-Star and a Defensive Player of the Year on that team.
One All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, and there's two players who even have a ceiling of superstar. And that's Anthony Edwards and Paolo Banchero. And I don't really know if Paolo has a ceiling of a superstar. He was just a number one pick, so I'm being nice.
I think Mikal Bridges could be. He was doing stuff in Phoenix. Yeah, he was the third option in Phoenix, and then he's been the first option in Brooklyn, and he looks like he could be a superstar or at least be an all-star a few times. But like again, I think you only named one all-star. And I don't think you did, but I'm going to go on a limb and say you did.
Because who was it?
Run through that list again.
Paolo Banchero, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Brandon Ingram, who may be the one All-Star.
He's got Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay. Jaren Jackson Jr.
I guess technically Cam he is Johnson, too, but he shouldn't have been. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, there was three All-Stars, Bobby 3 or 4 All-Stars.
And Austin Reeves. Mm-hmm. I love Austin Reeves. I think he's cool. He shouldn't be on this roster.
No. Nope.
Bobby Portis? How? Walker Kessler? Who even is that?
I don't even know who that is.
Like, what? And then the last thing about it, they lose, and now LeBron and all the other aging superstars are talking about playing. And it's like, that's cool. That's fine. You don't know that they can, and maybe they can or can't. But LeBron is 40. Why does he have to be he was on the Redeem team. He's already done it once. Mm-hmm. Why would he have to be the one to do it again?
Man,
where's Devin Booker? Why is Devin Booker not on this?
Jason Tatum.
Where's Jason Tatum? Where's
Bam Adebayo?
And you know what? I'm gonna let you cook on this one. I'm gonna throw you the lob. You know what else has coincided with this and all the people you just named?
What?
How much money they're making. And how much of them actually deserve to be making that kind of money. All these people we just named just got big paychecks. Where are they at? What are they doing this summer? What are they doing? Where are they at? What's up?
Jason didn't get one. Jaylen Brown did though.
But Jason's is next year, but they know he's getting it. He's just
and that's gonna ruin Boston. But yeah, can't wait.
Where are they at? Where are these guys? Where's I was gonna say Luka, but Luka wouldn't play for us anymore.
De'Aaron Fox.
He does play.
De'Aaron Fox. Why wasn't he? What do we got?
Anthony Edwards.
You know who never did it? You know what? Again, because we're talking about LeBron, we're talking about aging superstars. Damian Lillard.
Where's he at?
Steph
making terrible rap
songs. Steph, I don't think I saw you.
Where's he at?
Clay, I think you did. So I'll let it slide. Draymond Green, you did.
whatever. What? Because who else are the 28 to 32-year-old superstars right now? Did Kyrie do it?
Kyrie's done it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but he was young. Has he contributed? Didn't he do it out of college? Has he done it since?
That's a good point.
So I'm not giving it to Kyrie. Kyrie hasn't done it. Oh, hold on. Where are all the Kobe disciples? Where's all the Mamba mentality? Kobe did it. Kobe helped save them. Everyone talks about what Kobe meant to the Redeem team. And you too good for it? That's why everyone that says Mamba mentality is a fraud, bro. Where are they?
They're frauds.
Where
they are frauds. You're not wrong. Because you know what's funny? Because the reason why Kobe did it is because first Coach K asked him, but he watched them lose and went, ew.
That disgusted me.
I'm about to go fix this. I'm about to go help fix this.
And was out there at 2:00 in the morning while everyone else was partying.
Now he went out to party with him and then
worked out. And had LeBron and some of them other people doing it too. Where's Donovan Mitchell? Where's Spider at?
Where's Ja Morant at?
In the strip club with a gun?
Exactly. This would have been perfect. This would have been perfect for your image.
Bro, like, yeah. Where's Shea at?
But then want to sit out back-to-backs, even though you barely got them, or sit out every other game or some crap.
I forgot
all this load management. All right, bro. Okay.
Shea is Canadian, so he wouldn't play for us. I don't know if he played for Canada, but I forgot. He's not.
He did play for Canada.
Okay, yeah, that's why we lost. Yeah, just all these guys who are getting paid, who are making this money, who want to be fake. Where's Zion? Lost all this weight, supposedly.
You still can't play?
You posting all these pictures. Where you at, bro?
Damn,
when's the last time you been on the court, dog? When's the last time you been on the court, dog? Where's Zion at? Huh?
Yep. No, you're right.
Sick.
You're right. Don't let me Google players. Ooh.
But LeBron's supposed to be coming up with a super team to fix it.
I don't even need to Google. Let me turn my PlayStation on real quick.
Bro, all these players just off the top of my head, where they at?
And Jimmy Butler could have done it. I think he has done it before, but Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy, you couldn't lead the team? You couldn't lead this?
You know I ain't never seen do it. You know how I ain't never seen do it? Fucking James Harden.
James Harden, I
might be wrong about that, but I swear I
don't know. James Harden too busy calling his people a liar, trying to get traded again.
Because Russell Westbrook and KD did it.
Yeah,
Russell Westbrook got a gold medal.
Yep.
So like,
anyways, we'll get out of here on this. LeBron is gonna have to potentially save the U.S. team because all these players are making too much money, and they're soft, and they don't know how to play team basketball.
Shoot, Anthony Davis got one out of college.
He hasn't been in the game. Yeah, basketball is in a disgusting place right now. It's just a disgusting place.
It's not a good place. Not a good place.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Sorry that we didn't get much football in, but we had to talk about Mel Tucker and his disgusting filth. We'll hopefully be able to talk about more football next week, especially as we start to get some more of these good games. You can follow the show on Instagram at I-80 Football Show. You can watch the show live on YouTube and see our reactions and our faces that we made to all of this filth on my YouTube at Jordan W330. You can just Google I-80 Football Show on YouTube. The playlist will come up. You can follow me on Twitter. I will never call it X. On Twitter at Jordan W330. Dante, where can they find you?
You can find me at Dante M10216.
All right, we'll see you next week.